This week's Parashat the Bo takes us to those final crucial moments when, after the plague of death of the firstborn, the Jewish people finally left slavery. It's not entirely clear for how long they were there in the years of slavery versus the years of just living in Egypt. The rabbis debate exactly the timeline. But either way, you've got a pretty negative story that maybe you could suggest that once we left slavery, we would be only too happy to forget. If you read this week's Sedra, there are law upon laws telling us never to forget. The commandment on Seder night, on Pesach, to tell the story, how we behave during the evening. Laws, minutiae, excruciating detail, to capture every single moment, the suffering and the joy of freedom. Why do we hold on to this story? Do we really want to talk about those low moments in our people's past? Do we really want to relive sad events we can commemorate, but to such an extent? We can't escape the Egyptian narrative. It's everywhere we go. So why? One of my favourite positions is taken by the Sefer Chinuch, that wonderful masterpiece, unknown author, writing about the 613 commandments and providing a perspective, often psychological perspective, on the commandments. And looking at a number of details on the Pesach rituals. You've got to eat that Pesach sacrifice and you're not allowed to leave any of the meat till the next day. Can't break the bones. Also, whilst you're eating. Seder night, the freedom from slavery we're meant to experience as nobility. We are kings and queens. We are so distant from those years of slavery. Storing food for the next day is something that people who are concerned they might not have food for the next day have to do. Breaking the bones is accomplished by eating so fast, like paupers who haven't seen food, grabbing at the food, grabbing at the meat, snapping things as they go along. For one night a year, the Torah commands us to, regardless of your situation in life, of your station in life, imagine yourself to be totally free. Of course, we eat those bitter herbs and we combine the matzah and the bitter herbs and the meat from the sacrifice and combine the whole event into one huge sandwich. The bitterness, the freedom, the liberation, the love from Hashem as He passed over our homes whilst killing the firstborn of the Egyptians. Such a powerful story. We are called upon to live the story. Not just that one night a year where we have to imagine ourselves as nobility and royal and free, but to live it daily. Human beings should not be considered chattel. They're not property to be owned, but to be dignified. Slavery is the antithesis of what Hashem really wants. The laws governing slavery were definitely contextual because later on in our history, we did away with the institution. Now I just wonder, how much do we embrace this sense of our Judaism, this dignity for all people, to live freedom, to fight for freedoms, not to stand idly by, but to be there for those who are suffering, to recognize in ourselves something great, something regal, and to really live the story of the Exodus as we're being called upon to do. Yetziat Mitzrayim gives us a window into the people we ought to be. The challenge this week is to realize it. Shabbat Shalom.